Roll20 feed separately with XSplit so that I have both streams recorded. So this is the first session of four Mutant Fingers of Mutant Year Zero, which is from Freelingen. And we are going to be doing character setup, character creation, building all of that today. This is a post-apocalyptic world. And it's a post-apocalyptic world where you as survivors kind of don't know what happened. You are mutants. You live in a place called an ark. Each of you has a mutant power. You're all about the same age. You may have different powers. You have very vague memories of sort of how you came to be here. There is a person who is the elder of the village. We'll just figure out whether they're a man or woman, tell us something about them. They know things. They have some skills and stuff. And so you guys start out, and this village is dirt poor. One of the things we're going to be doing is sort of figuring out what projects we want to do to build up our settlement, to advance it, because there are several tracks for that. And we'll do all of that kind of creation for that. But one of the things in the book itself is that there is kind of a mystery about who you guys are, what's happened, and so on. But we'll be doing that character building stuff when we get to that. If you look on Roll20, you'll see I've chosen a zone map. It is in Swedish because I wanted it to look properly like I don't know what they're saying on there. So that's why I chose that one. If you can read Swedish, you may know what it says. I'm expecting that Undvik means danger, but that's just a guess on my part. So there are playbooks, and we should take a look at them. They're in the Google Drive folder. There are various different character archetypes. What is everyone feeling on that? And if you have questions about one of the archetypes or the approach, go ahead and ask those.
Question.
Yes.
So what is the status of slavery?
That's up to you guys how you want to do that. How much you want to get into that or not. I should mention this is, of course, the Gauntlet it has an X card. If nobody wants to take a slave, we can certainly take that off a table. In our Friday game, it was more a question of sort of people being in debt to other people, or people kind of being under other people's protection, like a boss and things like that. That's how we handle that. I would prefer not to go any deeper than that, or any more problematic than that already is. Is that cool? You guys down with that? Okay.
That's cool.
So what do you guys think? There's some very cool classes, very cool approaches. The gearhead, of course, gets to build stuff, which is always sweet. The stalker is the person who leads stuff out in the wastelands, out in the zone. Dog handler's kind of neat because you get a pet, which is always fun. Chronicler gets sort of the negotiation. Boss means you have a gang, so that's neat. Though if you take them out into the zone with you, then you have to feed them, which can be a problem. Enforcer is sort of the violent one. Slave is the person who can kind of take the punishment. I think that's all of them, right? Yeah. Preferences, picks. What do you guys think? What calls out to anybody?
After reading them, I was thinking either the dog handler or the stalker.
Okay.
So, depending on what other people want to do.
Rich, Chris, River?
I'd thrown out 3 possibles, not in any order: Chronicler, Boss, and Slave. It's a pretty wide net.
I was going to say, Rich, I think you managed to hit a triangle there.
That's right. My own PC triangle.
And this is an exploration game, right?
So this game will be doing kind of a hex crawl part of it, and there'll also be interactions in the arc itself, which is why there are some people with some social stuff as well. It will kind of move. The needle will kind of switch back and forth on that.
So I was looking at the Gearhead and the Stalker.
Okay. Both are very, very good. The Stalker is very useful out in the zone. They have some interesting stuff to do there. The Gearhead, again, gets to build stuff.
And the Fixer is the social manipulator?
Yep. The Fixer's sort of special ability is, I mean, they've got some strong, I mean, you can put your points wherever, but one of the things that they can do is sort of between being out in the zone, they can go and make a deal and generate more capital. And essentially they do a check for that. It's I would say if you don't have any other social roles, it's a good one.
So it looks like we'll end up with a Gearhead, a Stalker. And Rich, what were your three choices? The Chronicler, the Slave, the Enforcer?
The boss.
The boss. Okay.
All right, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a d4, and that person has to decide.
That's fine.
Okay, Vince, which one do you want, Dog Handler or Stalker? Dog Handler has the nice sick a dog thing, which is multi-purpose. Stalker's good out in the zone.
Dog handler.
Okay, so Vince is taking the Dog Handler. And then,
So I'll grab the Stalker then.
okay, Stalker. Okay, Rich and Chris, do I need to roll or will one of you call it?
I'll take the Gearhead.
Gearhead, okay. Dog Handler.
So we've got, what does the Stalker do again?
They're the one that sort of lead the expeditions out in the zone. They know how to find the path and look for danger out there.
We probably need somebody to be a Stalker.
Yeah, we got a Stalker. Gearhead,
That's-
Stalker, Dog
that's
Handler.
what I want.
Okay. Oh, that's right. River said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think I'm going Slave.
Ooh,
As long
interesting.
as nobody has any problems with it, I'd like to play that.
Okay.
I'm curious to see where you're going to go with it.
Yeah. We'll figure out about that. All right. So what we're going to do is, if you open up the playbook, we're going to walk through the process there of building our characters. I'm going to turn to my little thing here. What is this? You're going to have some picks that you're going to walk through on that. Let me see now. Do I have this stuff in there? So you'll look and you'll see that each of you has, for the role, has a key attribute. That's probably the one you want to invest in. And then you have a specialist skill. It means a skill that only you have. So the Slave has Endure. The Gearhead has Jury Rig to repair and fix things. The Stalker has the, I can't remember exactly what the name of it is. It's right here. Has the Find the Path skill for exploring the zone, and then Sick a Dog for the Dog Handler. So everybody has one unique skill amongst them. So if you look through the character sheets, you can, in the playbook, you can do sort of the basic stuff, the appearance things. What you're going to have is you're going to have a set of points to put into your stats and your skills. So for your attributes, you are going to distribute 14 points across those 4 attributes. Now, I want to tell you something. Those attributes will never go up. There is no way for them to go up in the game. They can go down. So just keep that in mind. All of the stats there are also directly associated with a particular skill. So you never have to say, okay, what am I rolling stat with what skill? It's always connected to that. After you've chosen your stats, you have just 10 points to put into skills. Now those can go up.
And what's considered a good stat level?
Well, I would say, I mean, I think if for a key stat, 4 is a good starting number. You know, if you want to go and really say, this is what I do, put a 5 in it, and then distribute the other ones as you will. But definitely I would say 4 or 5 for the key ones. I wouldn't put any stat at 1.
We get
Okay,
how many points again? 15?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many?
14 points. 14 points for stats, 10 points for skills.
The 10 for skills?
Yep.
And what's a good skill level?
That varies. You've only got 10 points, so it's a tough call. I would suggest for what you see as your key skill, like your add-on jury rig, you're going to want at least a 3 in that.
But we start with 1, correct? In our key skill?
Let me see.
I would assume so. If they're giving it to you by default, I would hope you get a point in that automatically.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, because this is a resource game. So you said
painful choices. 10 points for your skills.
And you were saying so 3 would be considered very competent. Is that what it was? Or?
Yeah, because you're going, oh my God, I'm putting 30% of all my possible skill points into this at the start.
Right. So you'd hope so. Okay.
To be I don't know that it lists what the stat is that goes with the specialist skill. What's the stat behind find the path?
The stat behind find the path, I believe, is going to be wits, but let me check that. Hang on one sec. It is actually agility for that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, which would be why they have it as the key stat. That makes sense. Does anybody have any questions about what those skills mean? There aren't a lot of them, so we do read them pretty broadly.
So what do you use if you're trying to lie?
If you're trying to
Manipulate?
lie, I would use manipulate.
Okay. And move is for fast running?
Move
like
is for
combat
fast running.
advantage?
Well, and any kind of like agility test, like jumping, running, things like that.
Okay.
Comprehend is the figuring something out. There's no real perception check in this game. Don't they say specifically don't do that. Just tell them what's going on, unless they're investigating, and then we go to specific skills. But comprehend is the what the hell does this do stat. Skill.
And so all fight is strength, no matter whether it's. Oh no, shoot is agility. Okay, I was like,
Yep.
I don't know why I couldn't find it.
The basic premise for the system of this game is you roll that dice pool, you're looking for sixes. You almost always succeed if you get one success. If you're trying to do something, you get a success, you succeed. If you get more successes, you get bonus stuff.
So what's the difference between find the path and know the zone?
So find the path is the one that allows you to spot danger, lead people through a zone faster, find artifacts, things like that. Know the zone is for you to go, I know what that is. That's, a crag bear, and it's going to tear our heads off, and this is what it can do.
Okay.
Has anybody here read what's it called? Picnic on the Side of the Road, or
Roadside Picnic? Yeah,
Roadside Picnic, or seen the movie Stalker? Because that's obviously where they got the name from
yeah.
it.
Nope.
It's a great
So
movie.
the stalker's the person that knows the way around and knows all, because the zone, if it's at all like the movie, the zone, there are all these invisible traps that are completely illogical, and the stalker knows how to find them.
It's not nearly as bad as that.
Good.
Rich, I'm going to make one suggestion on your skills.
Yes.
You might want to write in your Shake It Off Specialist skill at the bottom in that place to fill in.
And then I should probably add stats to that, huh?
And you should probably, yeah. And Shake It Off is a strength skill. And essentially, anytime you suffer trauma, anytime you take damage, you get to try and ignore it. Which is actually really nice.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
1 point too many.
I believe in the folder, the Google Drive folder, I put the talents. Did I put that there?
I don't think so.
Let me look.
And if you have 0 in something, that you can still attempt it, right?
Absolutely. You're just going to roll your stat.
Okay.
No, I didn't. No. It's just going rules. Okay. So everybody's going to get one talent. You probably want to. You're going to take one from your type. So, Rich, I'm going to tell you what the 3 talents are for the slave.
They're listed. I just don't know what they mean. Cynic,
Okay.
Readable, and Resilient.
Yep. So, Cynic means you get +2 dice when essentially you're taking wits damage, when you're taking doubt. So that's an okay one. Rebel, if you shake it off, what that does is for every success you rolled in shaking it off, On your next action, you get a number of dice equal to that. So if you shrugged off 2 points of damage, on your next round, you get 2 more dice.
Interesting. Okay.
And then the resilient one is you get 2 extra dice always when you shake off physical damage, wounds to you. All right. Our gearhead. Here are your 3 possible talents and what they mean. Inventor gives you 2 extra dice when you try to make something new, like you've never made or seen before. Motorhead gives you a +1 when you use a vehicle to ram somebody or escape from a conflict. Given that you won't have a vehicle at the start, it's not the best pick. And then Tinkerer gives you +2 dice when you go to repair something. You are muted. I assume you're cursing. I'm just going to take that as a given.
No.
Okay.
No. I was saying what? I can't be my options for like appearance are midget, and so couldn't I be a midget and use like the animal as my vehicle?
You could, but then you wouldn't get a bonus because you're not driving it.
Okay. I could pull the ears.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No vehicle. That wasn't. I don't think I was going there. But so the motorhead is that, and then the tinkerer is the other one. Is that just fixing things?
Yeah. +2 bonus dice when you go to repair something.
So it's just repairing. It's not modifying. So if I found something and I wanted to modify it, what would that be?
That is not a thing that you have a talent for.
Oh, okay. I guess I would assume it's inventor.
Yeah, inventor is for making something completely new.
And I can just make it out of random scraps.
Yep.
So it's on the fly. So
Yeah, you stop and go through all your scrap and then put together something new.
or is it like I've got like my backpack and hey, I already put together the thing I just needed?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's Tridindle.
Yeah, I think I'll be a tinkerer then.
River.
Mhm.
The 3 stats you have essentially are Monster Hunter, essentially, which gives you a +2 dice for identifying monsters. Rot Finder, what that does is when you're going through a zone, you're taking essentially rot, which is like radiation, poison, stuff like that. You're always taking that when you go through. What that allows you to do with the Rot Finder is you can opt to reduce the amount of rot that the group takes when going through. You can use one of your bonus successes to do that.
Oh. I think that sounds like the direction I want to go with this character.
I've got one more to tell you about, though.
All right.
Okay. Last one is Scavenger. You get +2 dice when you go to find the path. And with the success, you find any artifacts that are in the sector. You can choose to do that rather than IDing threats if you just want to hunt for cool stuff.
Nah, I see this person as prioritizing people over stuff.
Perfect. Vince, here are the dog handler ones. Bloodhound gives you a +2 dice when you go to track with the dog. Fight dog gives you +2 dice when you use the dog to attack. And then Mutant's best friend What that means is you can use the dog for endure and move. So you would use your sick a dog skill in place of those.
Well, it's a rough world out there, so fight dog.
Okay. All right, so what you should be looking at next is the relationships to NPCs and the relationship to other PCs. I guess we should probably establish our relationships to other PCs first before we do anything else. Does that seem reasonable?
Yep.
Okay. Vince, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us about your character, who they are, what they look like, what your dog looks like?
All right, well, I just use the basic descriptors. He's disfigured in face, wiry, tending to be a little bit short.
Okay.
Big leather jacket, heavy boots, traipsing around in the zone. The dog, I like the dog that's pictured in the book.
Okay.
It's,
like a mastiff?
Mastiff. More thing. This is a fight dog.
And what is your character's name?
What did I put for name? Durango.
Durango. All right. So, dog handler, do you imagine that you're the only dog handler, or are there other dog handlers?
I think there are others.
Okay.
The dogs are quite common from what I read in this setting. They're one of those animals that just have the survival ability.
Okay. All right. River, tell us about your character.
I don't have a name for her yet, but she has an ashen face, so she should have sort of a darker complexion, but she looks like she's faded a lot. She has a sort of a wiry body, so she's got her skin looks kind of taut across her. And the most characteristic piece of clothing she's got these kind of reinforced wading pants that protect her legs if she's stepping in stuff that is nasty.
Okay.
And
her name?
I don't have a name yet. Sorry. I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. We'll come back to you. Chris.
Okay, my character's name is Jin. She wears her goggles all the time. I'm going to assume they're sort of tinted slightly for sunlight, so we'll say they're sort of like sunglasses. She grins a lot. She's wiry. She wears her hair tied back in a ponytail, and she wears bicycle chains at both arms and has an LED headlamp.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Nice.
And bicycle chains is her weapon, so that was...
Oh, that's smart.
Where I was going with that.
Rich.
Playing Dink. Dink is a slave, and he has big dreads that cover most of his head, kind of Brillo pad beard that covers the lower part of his neck, and mostly wears coveralls. And as far as most people know, he doesn't have a weapon. That's because he has a little slingshot that he keeps in his back pocket and only brings out if he absolutely has to. he really doesn't want people to know he has a weapon because he's a slave.
Smart. Here is the next thing we're going to do before we pick relationship to NPCs. So I have a deck here. Each of you gets a mutant power.
Hooray!
All right. Okay. You can find. I'm going to tell you the two that you have to pick from, because I'm a generous GM and not a total bastard. So I'm going to tell you two of them, and you get to pick. The mutations. The text for that is in a little handout sheet, so you can copy and paste the text from that. Vince, you have a choice between
Yes.
acid spit and pyrokinesis.
With the pyrokinesis, meaning I mentally start fires.
He can light a thing on fire. You can use it at close range as an attack. You can melt ice or heat a cold area.
Melt ice. What an oddball one for that.
You're in an Arctic zone. Could be useful. Essentially,
Yes.
to give you guys, it allows you to eliminate the effects of severe cold if you're out in the zone.
Are we operating in a colder region?
We haven't decided yet.
Uh-huh. All right, any details on spit?
Yes. Acid spit, you can spit acid on a target at near range. You can, as an attack, you can use it to melt a thin rope, bar, or small object. You can also spit into a lock and open it.
Nice.
That does sound kind of sweet, too.
How about you think about that? And I'm
What do
going
you
to
guys
draw.
think?
Mm.
Well, is water? I know we have water on it, so we need water. So if you have fire, that means you can also melt ice into water. If we need.
Yes.
Okay. Just a sort of like a resource thing, it might be useful.
Oh.
Whatever you think works best with your character. What does your character look like again? That's.
He's a wiry little dude. I don't know. I'll think about it for a minute.
Okay. River,
Yes.
you have a choice between human magnet and corpse eater.
Oh God. Let's see. These are very diametrically opposed. What's human magnet do?
Human magnet means you can push away or attract metal objects in short range.
Oh, I see.
That could be cool.
I thought you meant like magnetic.
Oh no,
Personality or something.
literally human magnet.
River, are you the
Metal
stalker?
objects? Yeah.
I am the stalker.
You know that corpse eater keep your belly full.
Corpse eater
Yeah.
allows you to eat raw meat even several days after a prey's death without suffering rot points. Counts as 2 rations if you find a big thing. You can also bite people. Human magnet also allows
That sounds awesome.
shield and throwing things. So
Yeah, both are cool.
Throwing things be factored under shoot.
yeah. Oh no, actually, with any of these abilities, when you go to do it, you do it. If you spend the mutant points, you just deal the damage. We don't make a roll for it. We do roll to see if your mutant power goes haywire, but you don't have to roll to hit.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do human magnet.
Okay. That's from that. All right. Chris, you have a choice between cryokinesis or human plant.
Does that mean I get energy from the sun?
Human plant, you get nourishment from sunlight. You can spend mutant points instead of eating. You can have your body covered in sharp thorns that you can use to grab people. And you can also use your bark-like skin to absorb damage.
Oh,
Sounds
wow.
amazing.
That does.
Cool.
And cryokinesis means I can always have ice in my drinks.
Cause frostbite, freeze a water surface, extinguish fire, or cool down hot object.
Plant, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, but see, wouldn't it be cool? So if we had the person with the pyrokinesis, and then between the two of us, we could heat like metal items. We could heat them, chill them, and then break them, or something like that. That's in combination. The powers could be a lot of fun. Yeah. So she becomes suddenly Jin, the plant girl. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take Jin, the plant girl. I'll make that happen.
Okay. Finally, Dink. You have a choice between telepathy and parasite.
Okay, mechanically, how do these work?
Okay, so telepathy, essentially you spend an MP and you get an answer to, is he lying, is he hiding, what's he thinking right now? That's kind of nice. You can also plant a simple thought in a subject's mind. You can also use it to inflict confusion. Parasite means you're a human parasite capable of absorbing the life force of other humanoid beings. You can steal 1 point of any attribute from a victim for every MP you spend, so you could use that to recover your damage. You could temporarily steal a mutation from another mutant. And you can also heal trauma. Essentially, you can take the damage on yourself to heal them something.
Damn. I'll take Parasite.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
They're both pretty sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
So you determine how many mutation points you have?
So at the start of every session, you're going to get a mutation point. So you'll start out the game with 1. But then, when you guys roll and push your roll and take damage on yourself, I'm going to say, but the good news is you get mutation points. Essentially, let's say you took 2 damage, you would get 2 mutation points to add on. The max you can have at any point is 10. Let's do our relationships to NPCs, and then our big dream, get that figured out, and get that kind of settled, because it'll tell us something about some of the NPCs that are present in the game.
Lol.
Yes.
Acid spitter.
Pardon? Acid spitter. Oh,
Acid
good.
spitter.
Okay. It's pretty sweet. It's interesting because all of these are ones that the group I ran for didn't have. So I'll be very curious to see them in play.
For a slingshot, what's the bonus damage and range?
Oh. So essentially, slingshot, if fires at short range.
Okay.
It
guessed right.
Yep. It gives you a gear die of 1. You get an extra die to your attack roll for shooting. And it does damage 1. So it base does 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of judging damage, keep in mind that your attributes, that's also your hit points for each area.
I see.
That's why they have the little damage, fatigue, confusion, and doubt written beside there. We'll talk about that in a bit. All right. So let's go around. Vince, who does Durango hate?
That's a darn good question.
Okay. Well, they got that little list there. That's what I would go to.
Where's the list?
It's on the playbook.
That's in the playbook.
Yeah. I would recommend people use to draw from that. It's the easiest way to do this, and then we get some crosstalk of them.
River, did you come up with
Yeah, I'll be Tula.
Tula? Okay. Otherwise, I was going to propose we just call you Hey You, but that could get old.
Thanks.
Fraser named his character Weary in the Dungeon World game, and then he regretted it by session 2.
Yeah, that's a regrettable name.
Lol.
Yep.
I'll go with that second, the Enforcer, John. It's
Okay.
my last dog to death. This dog's gonna tear his jugular out. to death.
Okay. And Joe, enforcers are the real. I mean, they are built to be fighter combat people. They're either kind of on their own, or usually they're working for a particular boss. You know, they're the people who carry out those kinds of things. River, who do you
Yes.
hate?
We have, we have slave, gearhead, and a dog.
Dog handler, yeah. Any of those 3 appeal to you on the list?
I think I'm gonna. I think. What's your character's name? Vince
Durango.
Durango. I think I'm gonna hit on Durango because we have another mouth to feed.
No, I'm actually. We want to. This isn't for player hating. This is from the relationships to NPC thing we're doing. Sorry, kind of jumped ahead.
Oh,
Gotta get
NPCs,
that on the table first.
not PCs. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
That one made sense though.
I think the Chronicler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chronicler Astria.
Yep.
Why won't she leave you alone?
Oh, she thinks I'm withholding something. She thinks I've seen something, been somewhere. So she's got this pet theory about me that I'm like way more badass than I actually am. And really, I just don't want to disappoint her at first. And then I just got sick of her.
All right. Sounds good. Chris, what about your gearhead? Who do they hate?
They hate the other gearhead Pontiac because he thinks he's so smart.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh yeah, he's such a turd.
That is cool. Do you imagine that there are several gearheads, or just a pair of you?
I think it's probably the 2 of us, and I think he's stolen some of my ideas or projects and presented them as his
Oh.
own, and that's why Jin's really pissed off at him.
Okay, that makes sense. Rich.
Yes, I have chosen to hate the enforcer Elon, who beats me whenever he gets the chance.
Why does Elon beat you?
He won't tell me why.
Oh,
I have asked. Even though he's always there for Jin. He just beats me. Maybe he stole Jin. I don't know. Bothers.
We're going to go back reverse order. Rich, who do you want to protect?
I want to protect the slave, my fellow slave Ariel, Eriel, because slaves, you got to stick together.
Okay. What about you, Jin? Who do you want to protect?
As Rich said, Jin is protecting Elon, who's always there when I need him. So we got a little triangle there, don't we? So maybe Jin doesn't like.
Nice. Nice.
Maybe Jin doesn't like Dink.
What about Tula? Who does Tula want to protect?
I think even though he causes her constant frustration, she wants to protect Pontiac because having an extra set of hands to fix things is extremely useful. So yeah, she doesn't like him, but she wants to. But she recognizes that he's necessary.
All right. And what about Durango? Who does Durango want to protect? Wait,
Durango. I'm sorry.
just waiting on you.
I didn't realize your time. Johammed.
Okay. And why is that?
He looks out for me and my dog.
Okay.
Get some food.
All right. Let's go through and do the relationships to other PCs. We'll get that set, and then we'll take a break and build our arc. Does that seem cool with everybody? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fastest way to do this is actually to go through one person and do the assigning rather than doing a round robin with each one. So, Vince, we've got 4 things listed there under the relationship to other PCs, and you can certainly assign a different one to those. What do you think? We've got Tula, Jin, and Dink.
I was thinking of something other than what was listed there.
Okay.
That Durango will go to lengths to keep, in this case of our crew, Tula on point, because I think she's the key to getting us to Eden or whatever place will bring us out of our destitute situation.
Okay, I like that. What about for Jin and Dink?
Is that a question to me?
No, this is still 4. We're going to figure out Durango's.
Okay.
So,
So one to each of them.
yep.
I would have thought ahead of time. Let's see. Let's go with the basic one there. Then the Christo, what's your character's name? The Chronicler.
Jin.
Jin.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jinn.
Gin is actually the way I read it. I'm thinking she made a still for the arc.
I don't know. I guess I'm one of the unclean, the sort with the hamlers and the bees kind. So I think she clearly dislikes me and my dog.
Okay. So Jin thinks you're dirty.
Just scrapping around with the beasts. And then Dink.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want. I think I've just got a sense that Dink really shouldn't be in that position. Another thing about slavery,
Okay.
like we're all destitute. This isn't, the slavery situation doesn't help. People in a position like that doesn't move us forward. So
Okay.
I just see Dink as not being in that position. Disliking it.
Want to get them out. Okay. That sounds cool to me. River, what about you? Or Tula?
So I want to say Dink walked with me through the zone and lived.
All right. He is pretty tough.
Mm-hmm. This is the closest. So yeah, I'm gonna say that I look at Durango. I'm very skeptical of Durango because he adds that extra mouth to feed.
Nice.
And
Good
then I'm afraid I'm gonna let Jin down. I'm afraid I'm gonna let Jin down.
Nice. Kind of respect her judgments.
Yeah. She keeps us. I don't know. For some reason, I imagine Pontiac is this guy who like goes for the big flashy things, and Jin is a lot more practical. So I'm concerned I'm not going to be able to get the salvage we need in order to keep our heads above water, so to speak. Because I didn't take that one cool skill where I get to automatically find salvage. So I feel like, every time I don't come back with something, I'm letting Jin down.
All right. Jin, let's hear your three. Mute.
Yep, there we go. So, oh, good. I only need 3 of them because I don't really want to identify, unless somebody's planning on playing a slow character. Because one of mine is blank is a bit slow on the uptake. Best explain stuff in detail. And I don't really think that's my character. That's not the way. I mean, that could be fun to play out, but I guess I could get annoying very quickly too.
I do have a width of 2 and nothing in comprehend. So that could be a perception.
Okay. I'll start with, I think Tula is awesome. Keep close.
Okay.
Take note. I want to say, I'm trying to figure out how to explain the fact that Elon beats up Dink. I guess that doesn't have to be for me to explain, but I could take Dink makes me nervous. I don't like the way he looks at me. I think I'll do that.
Okay.
And then
For Durango?
for Durango, what's your comprehension or your wits?
My wits is 3.
Ooh. Okay. And
Upper deck.
is the assumption that everybody's out for gear here? Really? I mean, that would be a pretty common thing.
Everybody would like to have stuff,
Yeah.
because if you find artifacts out in the zone, you'd love to keep them, but you got to give them to the elder, so you're one of the people who gets to, make stuff like scrap pistols and things like that. Mind you, they fall apart real fast, but
Yeah, that's what I figured. I also get an artifact, which we haven't talked about.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm assuming there's one artifact that I don't have to give to the elder.
yes, I have a
and-
deck for that.
Okay. I'll say that Durango's out for my gear. I'm not sure why he would need it, but
Gear. And that makes it's a nice counterpoint to his kind of thinking that you think he's dirty. You kind of try to avoid him. It's a nice reciprocal there. Rich, tell us about Dink's feelings, deep feelings.
Dink doesn't have deep feelings. I'm gonna lead off with the one where I want to check in, because one of my relationships is blank is your owner, his will is your law. For now, I want Jen to be my owner, and you hate me. What do you think?
What?
no, I'm afraid of how you look at me. So
I know.
But I guess that might explain why Elon thinks he needs to beat you up. Okay. But how would
okay
I?
with it? I want to check in
Yeah,
and make sure it's okay.
Sure, we can do it. I just have to think that through. That wasn't really the way I was looking at it. How did you end up being Jin's slave?
You killed my last owner.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay.
Yeah.
So we set that up at last owner. And do you imagine your slavery as an indentured or forced, or how do you imagine that?
That's a lot of details. I don't know.
Okay, you just know that that's what's going on.
As long as I know, somebody's been my boss.
And that means I need to feed Dink, doesn't it? If Dink is my slave, so Dink becomes Jin's responsibility as far as that goes.
That might be the way you see it.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Yeah, no, that's unexpected. I just have to think it through. So wait, so what was the line? What is that? So Jin is your...
Jin is my owner. His will is my law for now. Cool. Okay, I'm going to add another PC relationship. And again, this can be totally wrong, but I am convinced that Tula wants to hurt Jin. And so I have to keep an eye on her.
Oh, you sense all of that nervousness and anxiety, and you sort of see it as like this want to pounce thing, but really it's okay. That's awesome.
And then Durango, I sense that he doesn't like me being a slave, and I'm not sure what that means, but he's my ticket to freedom. And of course, my dream is to escape the misery in the Ark and find a better life elsewhere. So he's my ticket to freedom. I have to stay close.
And so, yeah, you took your big dream as escape the misery. Okay. All right.
What's this clickable buddy thing?
Oh, so one of the things you're going to do is you set one of your fellow PCs as your buddy. If during the course of the session you sacrifice or risk something to help your buddy, you get an extra EAP at the end. So you choose one that you haven't formed a violent, hateful relationship with. I
don't have any hateful relationships. I just have to keep an eye on Tula.
You can make that your buddy. That's easy.
No, it's totally Jin. He's my buddy because he's my owner. He takes care of me, brings me food. It's so nice.
Well, I guess it works out well that I don't necessarily always need food.
All right.
15th, my belief.
And okay. So let's take 5 minutes. We'll come back and we'll move to doing the arc stuff. I'm going to leave it in your guys' hands to roll dice for the gear and all that stuff and get how many bullets you have and that kind of thing. But we'll come back and figure out some things about the arc, kind of map it out a little bit, and figure out what project your arc is working on. Sound cool?
That's cool.
Okay, 5 minutes.
You changed your hat.
I have goggles too. Yay, goggles.
I saw. It's pretty cool.
I just wear it. I'd wear the goggles, but then I'd have an indentation in my nose for the rest of the afternoon. So, not that committed to have a.
Yeah, I got a pretty wide nose bridge as well. So yeah, anything that wants to clamp down tightly on that, it just doesn't work. I can't wear swim goggles either because they want to they'll always let in water through here.
Oh, that sucks.
I have those welder goggles that I use, for costuming sometimes, but I don't know what it is about my face. They steam up like within a minute. I get.
An actual welder's mask might work better, even though they're kind of difficult to see through.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because they don't trap air underneath them.
Okay. Doesn't look quite as steampunky though.
No, but you get to do the cool thing, which is and have
Flip
it drop
up and
down. Mm-hmm.
All right, before we go on, let me offer Chris a artifact.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's find one something interesting rather than armchairs or cartons of cigarettes.
Really? Those are artifacts?
Yeah.
Carton of cigarette is totally interesting. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, Chris, you have two choices. Gas mask or chainsaw?
Oh!
So maybe I go away from the goggle idea and I go for a gas mask? I don't know. That doesn't sound comfortable. I'm thinking chainsaw.
Okay. So
Or is this a world where it's very practical to have gas masks?
the gas mask does give you some protection against rot.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It gives you some dice to roll to avoid it.
So you can you can wear your goggles while you're doing your stuff and in the arc, and then wear the gas mask out in the field.
Sure. Okay. I'll go for
So-
that then. Let's do it because my
Oh,
might even
gas
have
mask.
better luck getting an image with that.
Okay, so I'll put this chainsaw back here in the deck, never to return. Anyway, the gas mask is a light item, which means it takes up essentially half a row on the thing, and it gives you protection 3. So you get 3 dice protection against rot. All right. So if you look on Roll20, you will see that we've got a big map.
Mhm.
We should pick a location where your arc is at. Probably don't want to do all the way at the edges and don't want to do all the way in the center. So any of those places look interesting.
Well, I like the idea of us having an arc on top of Eden ? That way we know that's not where it is, and that's maybe we were drawn there for that reason.
You guys like that?
Okay with it.
Sure.
And are we going to play then that maybe part of our problem is that everybody else thinks Eden is here?
Ooh, that's an interesting detail. Create a particular threat.
Enough to make it a problem, yeah.
All right. So your arc then is in G13. The coordinates there. All right. So let me ask you this. We got that. We've got a sense of where it is at. We've got that zone map. There's a lot of stuff that's blank, stuff you don't know about. Let me ask you this. What is the arc? Is it a gated community? Is it a strip mall? Is it, a junkyard, scrap village, shipwreck, crashed airplane, trailer park. There are all kinds of things. Does anybody have ideas for what you think that it should be?
Can it be an old factory?
Sure.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, something that has a tall
A
structure,
smokestack?
or maybe a smokestack. Something that it's obvious from miles and miles around. Yeah.
You guys good with that?
Yeah, it works.
Okay. What is interesting about that place? What is unique about it for you? Rich, what do you think is a detail here we should remember?
So it's known as Goodyear, and there are all kinds of rubber tires that we found inside. So we've make some really awesome armor or defense.
Right. Anything else we want to establish about that?
So what did you say that it makes? Is it a factory for tires, or is it a factory for cars, or is it a bicycle factory?
It was Goodyear.
Oh, Goodyear. Okay, got it.
Yeah, big tires, radials.
I want to say that it has these large tanks underground, but we haven't put anything in them because we can't cleanse them. Like, I'm guessing they were used to store solvent or something like that, but we can't turn that into anything useful right now.
Is it like all sort of one big level, or are there different kind of levels to the thing? How are you imagining that factory set up? Is there like an office space and then a factory floor? What do you think?
I like office space up on a second level and maybe a catwalk around and then a factory floor. That kind of stuff's cool with maybe a...
Oh yeah, let's just totally go completely iconic with it.
Yeah. Vince, what are you thinking?
Well, I like the idea of the multi-level. I was just thinking too, just before River said it, an iconic large factory. Lots of hole, lots of places to go into.
Has a smokestack. I imagine that it's got that slight tilt, like it could fall at any moment. Do you imagine that factory, is it isolated, or are there ruins close by, like it was in an area that was built up? What are you picturing there?
So you would think. Oh. Yeah, you would think that like a Goodyear or a tire factory would be really far away because it's stinky as hell. But I actually have an example in East Tennessee of a tire factory that was like butted right up against a small town. So it could be either way. A small town would probably be impoverished because really, if you're a ritzy town, why would you want a rubber tire factory billowing that crap? It smells bad.
So that sounds good. Essentially, I imagine that between your Eden and the water, there are probably pipes that run, dumping waste out there. When the factory was in service, it would have done that. And then there's a small town on the other side. We've got the ruins of that. So there is a little bit of, it's not full on deep city ruins, but we've got, the old school downtown that's collapsed and houses and things like that in some of that surrounding area. Okay. So we've got this zone. We've got one boss, Jahaman. I put the names of some other bosses on the sheet there. We'll come out with who they are when we bring them into play. We can kind of figure that out. For Durango, we've got this big factory. Where is his den? Where does he lay his head at night? What kind of space does he have set up for himself?
I think I like the open. So maybe one of those catwalks that's a broader platform. not just a walk, and high up on one of the quarters, so it's not easily accessible by the people that might want to get me down on the ground level.
So do you have a little like a walkway? The dog can more easily get up to it.
Yeah, I mean, if they go up, the dog can go up through the building.
Okay.
And I've laid out some planks on the.
Okay.
On the
I imagine
grating.
nobody wants to live right below that either. So.
Nope, my dog will crap on me.
Yep. So we got an area, kind of terminal part of the catwalk there. You're up high, gives you some view of that space there. Probably pretty tight, you and your dog in that location. What about you, then, Tula? What is your den? What does your space look like?
I imagine that, so there's the offices, which I imagine the bosses live in, but I imagine there's some other offices or maybe some little storage spaces that are broken and like they're exposed to the elements, and I have sort of like some tarp or some canvas set up to provide some protection for the elements out there, but I'm kind of like outside and looking out into the area around.
Facing more towards the sludgy, multicolored river, or towards the ruined town, or towards the tire graveyard?
Probably towards the town. Yeah, probably towards the town. Anything that tries to come through the tire graveyard will probably notice because they'll make a bunch of noise, but there's oodles of places to hide in that ruined town, and somebody's got to keep an eye on that shit.
Fair enough.
In fact, if somebody wants to buddy up there with me to also act as a set of eyes, that would be appreciated.
What about Jin? Where's Jin's workshop, den, location? Keeping in mind you have a mouth to feed.
Yeah, she has a mouth to feed and she likes sunlight. So I imagine she spends most of her time in like a machine shop that's probably on the first level in the back somewhere. And where she sleeps at night, she'd probably want it to be someplace safe, but it would be Dink and her, wouldn't it? Maybe on the roof there's like a shack of some sort.
Okay.
What's that? How does that sound, Dink?
That's great. It's amazing. I love the shack. It's so much better than the place where I used to stay. Thank you.
So is the workshop, what is that like? How do you secure it during the day, or is it shared between you and Pontiac, or what?
Yeah, I'd say Pontiac and I have to share it. So that's part of our contention, that he's always like taking my stuff, mixing it with my tools. He doesn't put anything in the right place. He drives me absolutely crazy. He's so disorganized.
Awesome. Is there any part of the shack that Dink has kind of made his own, Dink? I'm going to let Dink answer this one.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
There's a workbench, and like right underneath it's really dry.
So we do get, so we've got an old factory, so there's a roof, so there probably is that the leaking, essentially when the acid rain comes through, you have to catch that, but you've got this nice workbench that's solid that keeps the wet out when the wind whips through.
Yeah, there's and sometimes it's hard to get in there. I got a little rolly cart. I can just like lay on it and then scoot under. Great. It's great.
What did you have to do to get the rolly cart?
I stole it from Jahamid. Technically, it's It's Jin's, since Jin killed Jahamut, so it works.
No, Jahamut's still alive.
Well, wait. I thought that Jin killed my
thought that
last
we-
owner. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So who was Dink's last owner?
Give us a name. So, because Jahamut is one on Vince's to protect
gotcha.
thing.
How about Millix?
Millix.
There used to be Millix's.
So this place has a population of about 200 of you.
Hmm.
That's the sort of the hard number that you guys have present. What is your water source? How do you guys get water?
There'll be rain catches on top of the building.
I don't think rain tastes too good though. We'd have to treat it.
I think
So-
everything has to be treated yesterday.
So you said that there's acid rain,
Yep.
right? Okay. So you know, some of that stuff is kind of volatile. So if we collect the rain in an open basin and let the chemicals just sort of evaporate out of it, then we should, I think we have what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a trough that we've turned into a bit of a cistern, and then as long as we wait for a little while and let the stuff evaporate off and the sediment go to the bottom, then we have relatively safe drinking water.
And it makes
That's probably the
sense.
key. Slow.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you put stacks of those tires together and seal them up, they can form rain barrels that are up there. Of course, they're black, so they absorb the light, so they get hot, and you get some impurities out. So all the water tastes like rubber.
I dig
All
it.
has that tang, and that's how you know it's clean, is because it tastes like rubber.
Mm.
That's how you remember it.
Tastes like Dasani.
Now, there are 4 levels for your arc. There's food supply, which represents how much food you have access to. At the very sort of default level, you're kind of struggling for grub, and it's kind of tough to get it. And essentially, your grub is all these leftover supplies. You're opening up little packets and things like that, and cans, and that's what you're eating out of. Plus, whatever garbage you've been able to find out in the zone, game-wise, and cook. So that's one of the things. Culture is about how much you understand the past and artifacts, that kind of thing. At the base level, you kind of don't have a real sense of cultural expression, writing, art, anything like that. Technology is about how much there is around. In the case of the base level of that, the gearheads know what's going on. The rest of you guys are like, I don't know. You see scrap, everything looks like scrap to you. And then warfare is about the defenses that you have. So at the base level, you have simple barricades. At the start of the game, you guys have 12 points to divvy out among those 4. The break point is 10. So when you get to 10, you actually kind of go up to the next level. So how would you like to distribute out those 12 points? What do you think is most important? You want to do even? What do you think?
When you say that we don't have any writing at level 0, does that mean none of us are literate at all? Or
That is the case.
okay, so I guess we need to. How much until a reasonable number of us are literate?
That'd be the first level when you get to 10.
Ugh. So wait, all of us are illiterate right now?
Yep, you might. I mean, you can read icons, iconography, that kind of thing. You understand IKEA instructions, though it still takes very long to put them together.
Legos? Can we handle Legos?
Yes, you can handle Legos.
We're
Yes.
fine. We're fine.
Well, unless you get one of the really heavy sets, like the Millennium Falcon or whatever. So, what do you guys think? Because one of the things is you're going to get to pick a project to work on, and those projects give you something that's happening in your arc, and they also increase those numbers, either a d6 or 2d6 usually.
So what were the 4 again?
Food supply, culture, technology, and warfare. I'm recording this on the arc character sheet in Roll20, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see an arc character sheet. Can you share it with me?
Oh, yeah, that probably would be the better way to do this, wouldn't it?
Thank you. Hey Vince, are you going to rename your thing so we could? Because I'm having trouble remembering your character's name sometimes.
Durango?
Well,
Pretty easy.
Okay, way to show off. Thanks. It doesn't make me feel bad.
Eat up, fellas. I'm doing it right now. Just
Thanks,
after the season.
Appreciate it.
So, what do you think for development? What's most important to you at the start?
Weirdly enough, writing is really important to me. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but
I can read icons. It's good.
I think Jin would think that would probably be a useful skill for her to have, if nothing else. But
Oh, and obviously we need to do that.
yeah, I'm thinking culture and food are probably our 2 biggest concerns. I don't know. I feel like if I can't record things well, or then, my work gets lost, and that also Jin's work gets lost. So, yeah.
That makes sense. So how do you want to divide those points then? The 12 precious points that you have.
So warfare is the defense of the site?
Yep. Right now you have simple barricades. Otherwise, you're totally defenseless against enemies.
Okay. I was thinking that we might want to have that one higher, and then and the tech maybe lower. I don't know what the options are. You see we have 10 points to spend between them, but the tech lower, because then that means that would give Jin incentive to go out and look for stuff.
It's 12 points.
It's 12.
So it's even more than the 10 you said. Gosh, wow. It looks like it's a bounty.
It does sound like a bounty. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. But I was thinking that I think I would sort of prefer if we had good defenses on the arc, so that the arc was safe initially, and maybe a higher food supply, and that the culture and the technology is what's driving us out. Because maybe we have like mushroom farms in the basement or something like that.
By the solvent, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They're spicy.
Uh-huh. And they don't taste like tires, so it's a nice contrast to the water.
Well, what do you guys think? I've heard culture. I've heard warfare.
So we can split these up. So we have 12 points, and you say even numbers are better?
The break point is at 10. That's when you go to the next level.
Okay. So
you could do since I heard warfare and culture both spoken of highly, you could put 4 in each of those and then 2 in the other 2. That's a happy compromise.
So what's technology, and how is that different from culture?
So culture is about cultural expression, reading. At the higher level, once you get past the 10, it's about whether you have art or worship or things like that. Technology is
Yeah, so
about understanding the tech, about using it and being able to build more things.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about food supply and warfare at 4, and then culture and technology at 2?
That works for me.
Sure.
Durango? Good. Okay.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. You said food supply and
Yeah,
techno.
Yep.
And
yeah, food supply and warfare at 4, and then
Okay.
culture and technology both at 2.
all right. That's awesome. Now, at the start of every session, we start out with an assembly. And for the assembly, I will ask you what project you want to work on. And this is the way that this plays out is essentially you set a project. It has a particular skill that you use to build up work points for it. And you guys can pitch in on that and help with the working out using your skill to build up points. Or if you have something else you want to do, you know, you can do another thing, like if the fixer were to go in and make a deal or whatever. Essentially, we do that kind of once around on that options. We look at what the threat is then and see if there are other things that people want to do. Rich, you look quizzical.
So let's go with some kind of projects. And what are the project options again?
Okay, so here are the projects that you probably can look at the start. I'm just going to go through the basic ones that you guys have available to you. You could build more defenses. You could organize hunting parties. You could turn to cannibalism.
Ooh.
You could create cropland. You could build a slave market to trade in slaves.
Nope.
You could build a pigsty. You could build a temple. You could start a Thunderdome. You could.
Is that for music? Is that for music concerts?
No, that's for more warfare.
Oh.
And those are all the ones that at your levels you can build. Any of those sound awesome.
This is not
But
that I
I'll
want
give more. Yeah, I'll give more details if there's something you want to know about.
just so I assume each of these benefits one of the 4 stats for the arc. So what does create a slave market do for supporting the arc? Which one does that support?
It gives because essentially once the arc start trading slaves taken from your people or from other groups, trade with each other or with traveling slaves. But it is food supply 1d6 and warfare 1d6.
Oh, okay.
But I heard some naysay on that one, so let's.
I wasn't looking to do it. I was trying to figure out how that played into the different stats.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. So defenses, when you complete that project, you get 2d6 added to your warfare. Hunting party is 2d6 added to food supply. Cannibalism is 3d6 added to food supply, but minus 1d6 to your culture. Cropland is 3d6 to food supply. And again, the more dice it's adding, the longer it takes to build. Pigsty is 2d6 to food supply. A temple is a d6 to culture. And zone wrestling is a d6 to warfare. Zone wrestling being the Thunderdome.
I would be cool with either the
One comes
pigs or
out.
the Thunderdome, I guess.
Other thoughts? Pigsty or Thunderdome is on the table.
And so culturally, I mean, would we be able to feed corpses to the pigs?
Yes.
Okay.
Iconically, we need to both. 2 goes in, 1 comes out.
You're sort of roboting for us, Vince.
I'm just playing. 2 go in, 1 comes out.
Oh, okay. It's the Thunderdome reference. So what do you guys think? The pigsty, to build it, the skills you use are endure or know the zone. The Thunderdome, the skills you use to build it are fight or manipulate.
I'm a fan of Pigsty based off that.
Yep, pigsty first.
All right.
Wait, so we're becoming pig farmers.
Pig farmers.
Okay.
So a pigsty is a good one. It does provide extra to the food supply potentially. And
It's fuel. Nothing.
imagine that.
What's our weather like?
That's a good question. Let's think about that. So, what is the weather around here? What kind of, are you in the north? Are you in this hot climate? What do you think?
I think we're in a fairly hot climate. I think with the whole, like, the water purification on the roof that needs all that sun. It sounds like we've kind of pushed ourselves towards a warmer climate.
So, are
Does
we
that
more
track for everyone else?
are we more sort of central like Tennessee, or are we more south like Jacksonville? Are we more like deserty like Austin?
We could be like maybe on the outskirts of like a Corpus Christi, and like sea level rise has like washed away some of the town, and that's why we've got all this like water everywhere.
I like that.
But yeah,
Okay,
What do you guys think?
that works for me.
So humid during the
Mhm.
summer and fairly temperate in the winter. Okay. So that's the environment there.
Cool, because the reason I ask is the methane, and of course you could use that for a fuel for devices as well as fuel for warming up. So pig poo. could
So
be used.
What are these pigs like?
Wouldn't that be maybe something?
Yeah, it gives you a fictional justification for some fuel things later on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we probably wouldn't have it.
What are these pigs like? Are they little? Are they big? Are they mutated boars? Are they something else? We say pigsty, but they could be some other kind of creature that you're holding. What are we imagining here?
Oof, my brain went
I'm
somewhere
thinking like
dark. What's that, Vince?
I was thinking more like iconic again, like Thunderdome. Normal, but maybe they have some kind of mutation,
Okay.
like the Brahmin and Fallout. They were two-headed pigs.
All right. So we get two-headed pigs. Do they look like regular pigs? Do they look more like boars? Are they big, small?
I'm thinking that I don't know. I'm partially inspired by some stories I've heard from Texas, but apparently pigs can go
Big.
feral back to wild really, really quickly,
Mhm.
like in like 2 generations. So I feel like we're constantly fighting them adapting to become more wild and more this-
Domesticated.
yeah. We basically have to always slaughter the most aggressive ones, because they'll just ransack the place if we let them get out of
I'm
hand.
not to kill my dog.
Yeah, and they'll totally gore the dogs if they if we let them get too aggressive.
So you say gore. Do they have tusks?
Oh yeah, I don't think we can avoid that.
Okay. So two-headed tusked pigs. All right. Are they many different colors? Are they a particular color? Are they, pink classic pigs? Or are they black or
Oh, let's have them be zebra striped.
okay. So clearly this was someone's old genetic experiment gone terribly awry.
And I want to say that they're 2 different like fur feelings. Like the white is like downy and soft, and then the black are like hedgehog hairs. Like they're prickly.
Ugh,
I
that
guess
is
this has good
horrible.
potential, but it has good potential for fashion, doesn't it? That's
Yep.
Yes, it really does. Oh, right. We have fictional justification for culture.
I'm going to ask you one last setup question, and then I kind of want to move into doing the project work and seeing what's going on in the arc. Get a little bit of that, play a little bit of that out, and maybe set up the threat. My question here to you is: you have an elder. They're the person that clearly knows more. They're maybe 20, 30 years older appearing than you. They don't appear to be mutated. They are the one who has taught you all that you know. They're the one that makes predictions. They're older. What do they like? A man, a woman? What do you guys think?
Woman.
Yeah, we have enough dude characters. So yeah, woman.
Okay.
It can't be a speak and spell.
Nice.
Advanced AI speaking.
Tell us how the pig goes. Tell us how the pig goes.
Yeah. The pig doesn't sound like that. So, older woman, is she still hale and hearty, or is she more infirm now?
I'm thinking arthritic, not like unhealthy, just she has a lot of trouble moving around.
I'm immediately picturing Madame Gao from
Okay.
Daredevil and Luke Cage.
Nice,
Does
nice.
that work with that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I love that
Completely
character.
stuck there now. Yep.
Yep, that's it now. Yeah.
Perfect.
What do you guys think about?
Yeah,
Oh shoot, I'm trying to find the name. Hold on a second. That she gets kind of wheeled around in a little wheelchair most of the time. She can stand up if she wants, but Ariel, the slave, pushes her around. Is that cool?
Excellent.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and the
Awesome.
wheels are some of those big Goodyear tires.
Okay. Nice callback. All right. So one of the things is that there's a general rule that if you find artifacts, you're supposed to turn them in to the elder, to the Dawn Vault, so they can examine them, and like the speak and spell. And the nice thing about that is if you do find artifacts and you turn them in, they can add to your ratings. So they can potentially add to that. Let's start by having everybody do a day of work, do their time working on the project so that you guys can see how the dice rolls work. So let me do this. So you can use Endure or Know the Zone to do a day's work on this project. So which one of those, Durango, would you be rolling with?
It would be Know the Zone.
Okay. And what are your numbers in that?
Know the Zone is 1 as a skill, and my wits are 3. So
Okay.
4 dice.
So yeah, but you'll write that in with that syntax. So
Yeah, that's what I'm still learning. I've been thinking.
Okay, I'm gonna here.
Can you do one for me? Send me the
yeah,
text in.
The text is in the syntax handout. You'll see that there. So I'm going to do it with 3 dice, and then 1 die for the skill. Let me see if this works here. Hopefully it will. All right. So if you look there, you can see the rolls.
Can you text me the script that you use for that?
Sure. It's in the syntax handout, and you can cut and paste from that, but I will grab it, and I will put it in the chat for you over here on the Hangout side.
Yeah, that would be great. Sorry to be a nuisance there.
Okay. So do you want to try and do that roll? Do you want to put the syntax in and do that?
Okay, so you always have to do all three of them, right?
Yep. And you'll put a 0 for anything that you don't have any dice in.
Ones you don't have anything.
Yep.
All right. All right, let me go back and shoot that in. So I've got green is skill, right?
Yeah. So the first one you're putting the 3 in. The second one you're gonna put the 1 in. So should be able to do that. All right. So you have the option now. Don't get any successes on that. If you want, you can.
I didn't get any successes. I'm
Nope.
looking for sixes.
So the green ones, shows you the green. You've got no successes, but you'll see that biohazard scenes. If you push it,
Yeah.
you're going to take 1 point of damage.
And what will it do? Why
So
will I
that
push it?
you push it
Oh,
because
push
you
it
get to
as in-
reroll. Get to reroll.
Okay. Now, did that symbol do something to me?
Not unless you push it. Right now, you're fine. You could just walk away. Everything's cool. Or you could try to push it.
So
Get a
what is-
reroll. You'll reroll those 3 dice.
What's how many wounds do we have?
That's equal to your stat. So what stat were you rolling on, Vince?
I was rolling on wits, it is.
Okay, yep. So if you go ahead and push it, might get more successes, but you're going to take 1 point of wits damage, and your wits is going to go temporarily down by 1.
Temporarily. Then.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so all you need to do is hit that beautiful blue button there to push it.
All right.
Nice. All right, so you're going to take 1 point of wits damage, but you get 2 successes towards the project, so that's 2 points towards it.
Nice.
Now, is it only that's a 6 right on the die face? Is that what a success is? Is getting
Yep.
a 6?
Absolutely.
Wow, these aren't going to happen.
And wounds are 1s on the yellow dice.
Which is what that symbol was.
Yes. And actually,
Okay.
now I realized that it is.
Now, don't I have a wound? Oh, wait. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm still.
you'll mark that wits damage in on your sheet.
And that's because of the biochem symbol.
Yes.
All right, so wits, I'm going to put a 1 there under confusion.
Yep.
1 of 3.
Yes.
I think I did that right. Look.
All right. Let's go to our stalker.
All right.
So which are you using, endure or know the zone?
Know the zone, definitely.
Okay.
All right. What is that? Oh, jeez.
Hey, Lal, do you
Yes.
want any, RP in that? I was thinking, I used DOG to do, wrangle the pigs and keep them under control.
Oh yeah. So I mean that's the first thing is gathering these beasts together and trying to get them, herded around, and very easy for you to do that. He'll be able to.
Yep. They control them to some extent.
Yes.
Herd them.
All right, River.
Yes, I think I'm also going out. I have I got all these abilities. So I think I'm sort of watching over the flock and over Durango and watching him and his dog work. And if the dog or he or any of the people that are with us are getting too much in danger, I'll be like motivating the pigs
Okay.
with my bow and arrow. And yeah, I'll be using Know the Zone. And so that is wits and Know the Zone. So I have 6. Yeah, I have 6.
So yeah, you should put your stat in that first number, your skill in that second number.
So is this, I need to bust this out into its own window here. I'm gonna roll 20. And that's it. Stat then skill.
It should be stat and skill. I think that's how it says it. I'm wondering if it's actually reading it that direction.
It didn't roll anything. Okay, let's see here. 2.
You have the. I would copy and paste the syntax and then change the X's to the numbers you need.
Did you have a little exclamation NYC in front of it?
Yeah, does it require the brackets around it?
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
has to. Yeah, the only thing that you're changing is changing
there we
the
go.
X's. Sorry, this will get easier.
That is why.
I apologize for the wonkiness here.
See, I'm used to interpreting those as through command line things where it's like this is an optional thing. Nothing.
Yeah, and it's definitely reading those numbers the other way around here. River, I'm actually going to have you re-roll here because it looks to me like the thing is reading your skill as the first number and the stat as the second number, which is different than the explanation told me. So if I could have you re-roll and put the 1 in the first and the 5 in the second. That's annoying to me.
So it goes skill first, then the
looks
syntax is
yeah.
skill, then stat, then gear.
Yeah, it looks like that's how it's reading it. So River,
I did that wrong.
yeah, we're moving on from that. So River, you've got a success. That's awesome, right? You've made a contribution. Your contribution towards this project, which is actually 8 points you guys need, not 12. But if you push it, you're definitely going to take a point of damage.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, you're going to be happy with 1 point towards the project.
It is better to live for a cause than die for one. So I'm going to be happy with the progress.
Okay, so you have put 1 point towards that. You've taken no damage. Vince, because you took a point of damage, you also get a mutation point. So you raise that number by 1.
Oh, now you tell me.
Okay.
You can still push that beautiful blue button, River.
So how many mutation points do we start with?
1.
Okay.
Would you like more?
Oh my
Do
God.
we
It's
only
on
get
the
the
2 points though.
do we only get the mutation points from pushing roll?
From pushing rolls and 1 at the start of each session. I apologize for this session being very mechanical, but it's getting this
Just get used to it.
just set out.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Oof. So I got another one and another wound.
Okay, so you have 2 successes and you take 2 damage, which means that you get 2 mutation points. Sorry, I apologize. Let me say it right. The good news is you get 2 mutation points.
Yes.
Great news.
So I think what happens here is it's incredibly stressful. to watch over these things, and it's just having to multitask so much, and then afterwards I feel like I don't know, like I need a coffee or a screw or both or just anything to get my mind off of all that.
Yeah, and that's confusion damage. Confusion damage, you heal that by just having a good night's sleep. You just gotta go and rest and get recovered because you are stressed out. That is exactly what that wits damage is.
All right.
Let's come to our gearhead. What about you? What is it that you are using? Endure or know the zone?
It's going to be know the zone.
Okay.
So we said skill first.
Skill first, then stat, then gear. One of the things that you might consider buying eventually is you can buy a spade, which gives you an extra die when you do work projects. Gives you a gear die.
Ah. That's how it works. So that'll be a 0.
But it costs bullets.
Bullets are our currency.
Yep. It's like bottle caps, but you can hurt people with them.
Okay, it looks like I got 1 success.
Looks like 1 success. Now, you're not going to take any damage unless you push it. You'll be re-rolling those 2 yellow dice.
No, Jin is okay with that.
Okay, so you don't take any damage, but you contribute 1 success towards the project.
Yeah, I would not have re-rolled with with that one. That's the likelihood of getting improvements is just piss poor there.
Yeah.
You re-roll the dice that didn't succeed.
That didn't succeed and
Okay.
didn't give you a 1. So, Jin, how did you contribute to this project?
Let's see. So I used the zone for this. So what would it have been? I want to say that I knew where to pick up some scraps that we could use to make a barrier to keep the pigs in.
That sounds good. I like that. Got that built up. Do you imagine that this pigsty is inside the factory or outside?
Well, I guess if we're going to be doing the methane containment idea that Dink had, then I think we're going to have it inside, unfortunately.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you've created a whole new set of smells.
Yes.
This
This is why
hot-
Dink and I live on the roof.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's not stinky. It's aromatic. Okay.
Yes. I imagine that the person who does it best is probably Durango because of his acid spit. I imagine that everything tastes like acid to him, and probably the smell is not as big an issue for him.
Nope.
Dink, what skill are you using, and how are you contributing to this project?
I'm enduring because I just get in and I move them all around and keep them pretty much out of everybody's way.
Because you could take the nips and bites.
I don't mind.
Okay.
It is odd though. The two
And the
heads,
prickles.
one unless they're really hungry, one head eats and the other one just watches you.
Oh God, that's horrible.
I love it. I love it. They sort of like rest half at a time. They don't sleep their whole system.
Oh my God.
The head just watches you. Like so you'll have half dozen eyes just watching. Okay, so we go with skill, then stat, then gear, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Let's go.
So I have 1 success. Is that no chance of damage, or am I reading it wrong?
It looks to you like if you were to re-roll, you'd be re-rolling
3 dice, right?
4 dice.
Mhm.
The green one and the 3 yellows.
Green one, 3 yellows. And the green one could contribute to a success, and the 3 yellows are a possible damage.
Yes. But I mean, let's say you were to get 3 successes, then you could finish this project right away.
Doing it. All right, I just took damage.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, that was a wound. Dang it.
That's fine. The nips are okay. I'm good.
So we're short by 1.
You're short by 2. You're at a 6.
I have a great mental image for how you got injured, Dink.
Yeah. How?
I'm imagining you're like corralling and pushing them and things like that, but one of them just isn't really listening, and it just sort of squishes you up against the edge of the enclosure, and just like, so you just got this huge bruise across your midsection, just bright purple and just angry as hell.
And it's probably the anger that's actually causing the confusion rather than any physical damage.
Well, he's using Endure.
Oh, he
Yep.
is. So yeah, he can take
So
physical
damage.
stuff. That's right. Now, you do get to use your skill against that, Rich.
Yes, I do. My shake it off skill. Do I just roll the skill?
You roll
do I
the
do the
skill
whole-
plus the stat.
Okay, so the same setup as before.
Yep.
Skill plus stat plus no gear. I got 1 success, so
You shake it off. You don't even take it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a big old bruise, but nobody cares. But you just don't care. Nice.
Yeah, honey badger don't care.
So let's do. Here's what I'd like to do since we're about 15 after. What I'd like to do is do a kind of a once around day in the life, check in with people. I'll probably set up a little bit of the threat for next time. And then next time we'll start with finishing off the zone project, that kind of thing. And we'll do the assembly there. We'll be down 1 person for that session.
That's me.
But we'll press on for that. So is that cool with everybody?
Wait, how long was this to run for? It's only 2 hours?
It runs till a quarter till.
Okay, quarter till 1.
Yep, that way.
Okay.
We have a break between this and potential 1 o'clock games. Is that cool with
All
you,
right, cool.
River?
Will
Okay.
I'll need to update it in my calendar because I didn't know what time it ended.
Okay. So, Durango, what's your usual?
Oh, hey, since I'm not gonna be here next time. If it's okay, just so I can have a little bit of extra time between the 1 o'clock, can I go first?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And
And then I can actually drop off and I can watch the video later in prep for game 3.
Okay. Rich, tell me, for Dink, we know that you hang around with Jin. We know that that's part of it. But what's the other stuff you do during the day?
Oh, well, I've got this parasite thing. So I like to stay around people who are smart because I'm not terribly smart. And so I would just hang around them, often the elder.
Okay.
Just to kind of vibe off that, listen to the speak and spell, stuff like that. Plus, it gets me some extra time with my good buddy who I'm trying to protect. She's nice. So yeah, every time it's mostly just most of his day is doing the work. Like that is not a thing that happens instantaneously. That takes up we've gone back to agrarian lifestyle. That is from sun up to sundown. So every moment that he has, otherwise he's hanging out around Slave Ariel and our elder. Do we name our elder? I think we did, but I didn't.
No, we didn't actually. I was just going to refer to her as the elder.
Yeah.
Okay, and the elder. And speak and spell.
So you are there. I mean, what do you imagine the lighting is like in the factory? We get, it's after dark once the break has come. What do you imagine that's like?
Oh, at dark, I think that we have... People who know science will have to check me on this. I would imagine with the amount of methane, it does not make sense to have lights, like open flames around a great deal, unless we're going to have open windows that will carry out all the methane. So imagine that maybe, we would need a project to have anything more than that. So it's pretty dim. I imagine
Okay.
it's just really, really dim. Ever since we opened the pigsty, we've been a little nervous about lighting lights. So maybe there are flashlights during absolute need, but then there are batteries that you have to use, so you don't really want to do that. So
that's
dark, really
yeah.
dark.
Okay, and that's a real classic scavenging thing, is to go and try and find any kind of batteries out there, find the crank flashlights, glow sticks, strips, things like that are really hot scrap commodities, and are really important. So you will see that there seems to be, when you arrive to kind of check on Ariel and the Elder, that there seems to be a little bit of a commotion. You'll see that Jahamond is there and Victoria. Jahamond's kind of your solid, scheming boss. He's a reptilian. He's got that sort of reptilian mutation. So he's got that kind of weird eyes. And he's human, but he has that look to him. The other one, Victoria, she keeps her little gang off in one corner. They talk about Jeebus, and they've got some rituals and things. They've kind of focused in on sort of misunderstood kind of faith. And she's tiny and she's very fast. And when you arrive, there seems to be some kind of argument going on. Is this the kind of thing that you would come and stand by? Would you go away? What do you imagine?
I would stand by the Elder and Ariel to make sure that they're okay. And eavesdrop, would be a good thing. I know Jin would be very happy to know why they're fighting. So,
and you kind of, when you come in, you kind of serve as the catalyst to kind of break up the conversation. But you will hear Victoria say, well, I will keep counting. If there are more that have this, then we need to send someone out. Because it's a dozen now. And Jahaman's like, we can't risk, and we don't know if it's anything. And they both kind of turn to the Elder, and the Elder says, keep track. If any more fall sick, tell me. And the two bosses will leave. And Ariel kind of looks at you concernedly, and she does that thing. It kind of gestures to you that I'm going to take the Elder back, but I want to talk to you. And she'll,
yeah.
What does Ariel look like?
Well, shoot, where is that Pinterest board? You linked it earlier. I want to say, you linked it in Google Plus. I couldn't actually highlight it. It was really weird.
Oh yeah, Google Plus is really idiotic right now for copying and pasting.
No, I mean, when I had in Pinterest, I wanted to follow that board so that I could have quick access to it, and for some reason, I just kept kind of failing on that. But anyway, I've found it.
Okay,
here we go. I think Ariel. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see if this picture comes up. Here, I'll just screen. There, it looks like that. Guess,
oh, nice.
See it? Okay.
Yeah. So she is pretty feral looking in some ways.
Yep.
And she's got a little bit of that sort of thing with her jaw, that when she talks, there's that little bit of that leak that comes out on that side. So she does kind of have to lean in close because she can't talk very loud. And she'll say, you should keep an eye out. Tell Jin there's something going around. Something make people sick.
People sick? Oh, not the pigs? Okay.
Yeah, no, just people, not pigs.
Oh, okay.
She'll say some kind of fever going around. And this is not an uncommon occurrence for people to get sick. You know, you guys, it's not a healthy camp, but clearly there's something about this that is making them more nervous.
Okay. Yeah. I'll tell Jin. Maybe they'll send Tula away. That'd be good. I mean, to find a cure, but to send her away.
They might have to send people out. That's what Marlot was here asking about getting approval for.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll tell. Anything you need? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Yeah, it's good. I haven't gotten sick yet.
Okay.
The pigs look good. It's coming along.
Oh, thanks. Well, that's mostly my effort. Everybody else is lazy.
That's what. Yeah, I know. They're all brain.
Yeah, they
Strength
talk
and
about it
stamina.
all day long. I go in and do the
Strength and
work.
Oh yeah.
That's our lot. We just do the work and they talk about it, take credit.
Well, yeah. And she will chat with you for a while. You guys will open up a can, of rations. If this was a film, we wouldn't see what the label was. It's generic, but when it opens it up, it kind of looks like cat food with that kind of slimy gelatin on top. And you'll share a spork to have a meal there.
That's awesome. We have a spork.
It's probably taped together because it's broken several times and missing at least one tine from it.
Well, it's a spork.
Yeah.
You take what you can get from sporks.
So let's have that as your scene, Rich. I'll let you skedaddle.
Awesome.
Okay? All right.
Thanks, guys. Fun stuff. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
See you in a few weeks.
Durango, what's your daily routine?
I don't want to hang around people a whole lot. It's not that I don't like people, but it's easier to get along with my dog.
Mm-hmm.
Dioge's the bomb. He understands. And when I'm done helping out with the pigsty,
Mm-hmm.
I want to get back up to the top of the building and hang out. I've got, I don't know if I can do this, but I wanted to have kind of like a little thing to myself. I know we can't read generally. We don't really have that ability, but
Right.
I really liked, I've started to find, I've been out in the zone and maybe mostly out in the city around the factory. I found old graphic novels, and they're really interesting.
Bright colors. Yeah.
And scenes of things in the before times. And I've started to put together just minimally started putting together language,
Mm-hmm.
because you got pictures to go with words, and what some things mean. So I see the start of some linguistic skill starting. Maybe it could turn into something over time. But that's what I do, before the light fades. I want to get back up and read these. I don't want people to see me reading these graphic novels. It's kind of strange.
So do you how do you store and preserve those? I mean, those are, in this environment, things are fairly fragile. What do you do to keep care of them?
Well, we are an environment that's just chock full of textiles and rubber type things. So I've created I don't know, satchels out of
Okay.
old tire, that I can seal up pretty good. Found some industrial glue. And, I mean, they're like super good at keeping out the weather.
Yeah, that's a really interesting visual, that a lot of the belts and clothing and bags you guys have suggested about the armor and stuff, that there is that sort of the cutting of the rubber, and you've got some glue adhesive, and then a lot of it is wire or some kind of heavy duty thread to bolt it together. Maybe you've got
I have a secret stash of adhesives.
So it creates an entirely different smell. Anyone else coming up here would find it just repulsive. And even your dog, what's your dog's name again?
DOG.
DOG.
DOG. So DOG, when you pull the adhesives out, does not care for that smell.
He goes to the other end of the dog walk.
Oh, yeah.
The dog walk. Very nice.
Yes. That seems like a good scene. Is that cool for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk. Sure.
I'm sorry. That fellow that I don't like. Do I have any of scuttle of this other stuff that's happened with Dink? Does any of this get around, or?
That there's some more commotion, like there's something going on. Again, you keep away from people.
Right, but I keep my eye on Joe Nuts.
Yeah. Which of the bosses does he work for?
Good question. I'm hoping, well, maybe he works for Johammed. I mean, I like Johammed, but I don't like Joe Nuts.
Okay. So
that's not his name, but it's the name of me. Nut.
I'll get that. Is it Jorax? I'll get that down. So yeah, he seems to be going around and maybe rustling some people up, like he's getting Johammed's people together for some kind of talk or some kind of meeting. That's what seems like is going on down there for you.
All right. Well, I'll just say to close, I'm always looking for an opportunity to make this dude look bad. And it's going to be worse than bad when I have a chance.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Let's talk to Tula.
All right.
You've helped out with the pigsty. You've done your couple of, we've done over the last few days, doing your work on the projects, getting that set up and stuff. What do you do otherwise?
If the bosses are sending their people out to do things, I'll watch over them. Basically, I'm going to really embrace that whole stalker thing. If people are going out and doing something, then I will make sure I'm there watching over.
Are you now? A lot of the bosses have people that work for them. Do you imagine that you're kind of an independent stalker, or do you work for one of the bosses a lot of the time?
I don't work directly for either of them. I'm sort of hanging my hat here for a time, and I think I told the elder that if people start treating me like crap, I'll leave. So if they try to use me for their political games against each other or whatever, then I walk.
And you know the zone. You've never seen another set of people, but you could probably make it out there.
Oh, I mean, well, I walked through the zone. I was under the impression that Dink and I came from another settlement, like a long ways away. But I guess
you guys would have been from this settlement.
Okay.
Sorry, that's in the fiction of the thing. I apologize. I should have made that clear.
No, it only changes what's going on slightly. But yeah, I imagine I maybe used to work for either one of their predecessors, but then when they rose to prominence, I was like, all right, I'm independent now.
Like maybe you worked for Millix before Millix got offed.
Yep.
Okay. You will hear that. I mean, you're asking about expeditions and things. You will hear that Marlot is kind of asking around with some of the other people that are stalkers about maybe putting something together and kind of checking with them, and that she seems to be putting out feelers for something.
I'll go and talk to Merlot then.
Okay. Marlot's, she's your guys' age, but she looks kind of older. She's the quietest of the bosses, whereas the other three are get into it with each other a lot. She tends to keep to herself. She has kind of ashen gray skin. You know that she can kind of armor herself up. That's her mutation. And she has, a couple of enforcers that work for her. But when people come to see her, she isn't like there's no gatekeeping potentially, so she will see you coming and looks a little quizzical, and she says, Tula.
I'm not wearing my waders. I'm wearing like whatever my sort of like base pants are that are underneath that, and I'm my bow and all that stuff is not with me, and I'm maybe have like a little tool knife like everybody carries, but yeah, I nod to her and ask, may I sit?
Sit, please. Yes, there's a bench there.
The other stalkers and some of the grunts have been talking about an expedition. Is there any way I can help?
Well, that's interesting. I want something small. I've talked to some of the others. They have other interests and agendas. You're unattached.
I nod.
I have some information, a location out in the zone, and
all right.
I want to send a group out, small, but some variety. Would you be interested in leading something like that?
I could. I will bring everything that we find by the Elder, of course.
No. It is... I want someone discreet because this information is potentially very useful, but I think we're going to need it now. I
sort of cross my arms and lean back against the wall and ask, why would you, what is so valuable that it's worth risking the health of our ark and hiding it from the Elder?
Not hiding it from the Elder, I'm hiding it from the other bosses. There's a difference. The Elder has my respect, but she is old, and there are 3 rivals I have who are more than willing to use force to seize what they want. I want someone I can trust to go out and bring it back without attachments to those bosses.
I see.
But we will talk more on this tomorrow. I have to find some others to go with you if you're willing to do that.
I'm willing to do that. if you're willing to trust me with your information, I only ask that you also trust my judgment.
Fair enough. That is an exchange I can get behind.
Thank you, Merlot.
And she will nod to you.
And I'll get up, yeah.
Jin, at the end of the workday, Dink takes off, heads on his usual lumbering check of the world. What do you do?
So is the sun going down or already down?
Tell me.
Okay, let's say that if the sun's going just before the sun goes down, Jin would go up to the roof and check and make sure that nobody else is up there. But I guess that means Durango's probably hiding on a different part of the roof or something like that.
He's got a whole
goes
sort of dog walk thing that he's got sort of below the
That's
roof
right.
level. Yeah.
Okay, and then so she goes up and she probably undresses and sort of like sunbathes. Since we said that she's a human plant, and so for
All
her
right.
this is like one of her big relaxing things. So it looks sort of, I guess, meditative maybe, that she's just facing the sun, and she does that every morning also. And and just thinking about plans and stuff like that. And I think she's got an idea in her head that there's some sort of solar collectors she'd heard about that maybe we could get that might help us out.
Do you imagine that that people are resentful, envious, or interested, or what's people's reaction to the fact that you can get by without grub, which is for everyone else, like that's what their life revolves around?
I think that's part of why, and I was thinking that she doesn't like the fact that she has a slave, and that's part of why that I said that in Dink's relationship that Dink makes her very nervous, and that's because she's very uncomfortable with that relationship on the one hand, but on the other hand, she probably needs somebody to be looking out for her because of that's that attitude, that the jealousy, if you will, can often lead to violence, especially if it's viewed that Jin might have some sort of privilege because she's up on a roof, she has her own little place set aside from the others. So I could see there being some sort of jealousy there and some rumors that she might have some neat stuff in the shack that others might want.
Well, and that's a good question. You have a collection, he said, trying to speak, of scrap. What's the most interesting? I mean, scrap is really trinkets and bits and pieces of things. What are the most interesting couple of pieces of scrap that you've accumulated?
You mean scrap, or can it be an actual artifact that doesn't do anything worthwhile?
Well, yeah, what scrap is like, a Santa mask, or a tape recorder with no tapes, or a spinner. Yes. Detergent bottles, all that kind of stuff.
I forget what they're called, but I'm thinking of like the they look like sort of light bulbs, and they're black and white, and there must be a vacuum in it, and when it's in light or sunlight, it will actually spin.
Okay, yeah.
I forget what those are called. I used to see them all the time when I was a kid. And I want to say that she found one of those, and she thinks that's just absolutely fascinating. And she's trying, she wants to figure it out, but she doesn't want to take it apart to figure it out.
Because it's super fragile.
And it's, it's the only one she's ever seen. So she wants to find out more about that.
Okay.
And I think that's her favorite thing.
And sunlight makes it go.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that for you. Let me ask you just one or two other questions, and we'll kind of the mutation description talks about the potentially bark for skin. You can find that, and potentially thorns for hand to hand. How do you imagine that? What does that look like?
The bark for skin.
Is it subtle? Is it more obvious? I mean, you're not Groot, but
yeah, no, I'm actually picturing it looking, I think, more like what could it look like? For some reason, the image that came to mind is like pig skin leather. If you've ever seen it, that's not, it's sort of bumpy like that. And so that's sort of how I'm picturing it. And I guess the thorns might come out between them. I want to say that they withdraw. Maybe they or lay flat. Maybe.
Okay.
more like a porcupine.
Oh, so more bristly than rose thorn kind of thing.
Well, I'm sure they would be rose thorny, but I want to say that they're mobile so that they can. I wasn't under the impression that it's always active, and so that's why I was assuming there was some ability there to control it.
Let me ask you one last question. You mentioned that you have some ideas for your next big project. What is that? What is the next big thing that you want to do?
I want to say the next big thing would probably be to figure out how to do a. Are we saying we live on the water?
You certainly are. If you look where the zone is, you're not that far away from this sluggish body of water.
And since we seem to have ample sunlight, the potential to make some sort of filtration system or distillation system.
Yeah, because there are those tubes that go out to that water. If you could figure out a way to get that pumped up and get that filtered, that would really, really, change things here. Good. Okay. I think that's where we're going to stop for today. I am going to give you guys a couple of the end of session for this game is I'm going to read through the experience questions. Essentially, the deal is when you hit 5 EAPs, you can raise a skill level or buy a new talent. So I'm going to just go through this. Everybody's going to get, I think, probably just a couple of points. So the question is, did you participate in the session? Yes, you get a point. Did you perform a day's work for a project in the Ark? Yes, everybody did. Did you explore at least one new sector in the zone? No. Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy? Don't think anybody did on this session.
I didn't.
Did you sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe? Okay. Did you sacrifice or risk something to mess with the NPC you hate? Certainly Durango is setting up for that.
I wanted to.
And then the last one is did you sacrifice or risk something to reach your big dream? So those are the questions that we'll ask at the end of each session for experience points, just so you can keep that in mind. The other thing that you can do at end of session is you can change your PC buddy, you can change your NPC hates and likes. You have the option to do that essentially at session end. Does that seem cool?
I'll change mine when Joe Nuts is dead.
We'll roll into it next time. What I'll probably do, because this is a shortened session, is I'll probably we'll take it as a given that the pigsty is finished. I'm just going to do that, and I'll let you pick another project because projects are fun. And we'll do that at the start of next session, and we'll follow up with the threat that I drew that is on the table and work on that. So any questions before I wrap?
No, I do want to say, want to give a rose to Vince for naming his dog Diogi, because one of my dad's friends from back in high school actually named her dog Diogi.
Oh no!
So, what was that?
One of my neighbors as a kid named his dog Diogi. I can't take credit for it.
That's
awesome. No,
I just love it.
It just warms my heart because it's so funny and so cute.
Well, it fits for this. I called I gave it and made an acronym. It's Dog of Grit.
That's even better.
A dog can hack it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap here, and we will do Roses and Thorns at the very end of the campaign. We'll do a full one of that so we can talk about that. And again, I apologize. This is a little mechanical session. We'll roll out of that into to more a chance to play through things as we get into the next couple. And I apologize for the die roller being different than it said it was in the help text. But we'll get that all set out. All right, I will see you guys. I'm going to stop the broadcast, and I will